So for today's class, we will be using a text. And this time our text is going to be different. We've done scripts, we've done stories, we've done monologues, we've done clips from movies. This week, we're going to be doing something called fables. The thing that makes fables different is that these are stories that have been passed down from generations, from generation to generation. So like great-grandpa, then grandpa, then dad, then kid, so on and so forth, and it keeps going, right? Those are generations. So these stories have been passed down from generation to generation to teach an important lesson. It's called the moral of the story. So these particular fables that we're going to do today feature animal characters, which is why in the beginning we practiced a bunch of animals. Now we're going to have to put together what we know about these animals and how they move and what they do and what they sound like with what the story says about these particular characters, and we're going to create a story based on that. So you guys get ready. I'm going to be looking for you to tell me what the moral of the story is when we get done. So please pay attention to what the story is telling you. And fables are not just things that we read, but things that can be acted out as well. Like so many of the famous movies that we've seen are based on fables. Remember, a fable is just a short story that includes animals and tells a story or teaches a lesson, right? So think about Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is a famous cartoon movie that we know, and they've made live versions of that and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's really about this prince who turns into a beast because he's so ugly on the inside. And the only way that he can be changed back into a human being is if he learns how to love someone, right? That's teaching a lesson, isn't it? And what's the lesson? If you're not pretty on the inside, it doesn't really matter what you look like on the outside, right? Because it's what's on the inside that matters most. So when you treat people well, when you love people, and you do your best towards them, then your beauty shows on the outside, right? Beauty and the Beast. That's a fable. So when we're looking at these fables, I want you guys to think about what's the lesson inside of this story, because each fable should have a lesson and it's super important, right? So keep that in mind. All right, boys and girls, so we're gonna read this story really quick, The Lion and the Mouse. One day, a mighty lion was fast asleep in the woods. Thinking he was just a rock, a little mouse ran up his back. The lion woke at once and took the poor mouse by the tail. "How dare you wake me up?" he roared. "I'm going to eat you." "Oh, please," the mouse said. "Let me go, and someday I will repay you." "Don't be silly," Lion roared. "How will you repay me?" "You are just a little mouse, too small to be much use to me." But then he laughed. "All right, go on." He put the mouse down, and she ran off into the woods. When many days had passed, the mouse ran by that place again, and hearing an awful roar, she soon found Lion caught in a trap made of rope. Quickly, Mouse ran to the trap. She took the rope in between her teeth and chewed until she chewed right through the rope and set the lion free. "Thank you," roared Lion. "You are welcome," said the mouse. "And now I hope that you can see how big a help small friends can be." Now let's look at it for personality traits. So one thing I'm noticing a lot of, because we said that he roars, the lion roars, is that, when people roar, when lions roar, do they roar just to talk, or are they usually feeling a feeling? Like when I talk to people, I don't just automatically start yelling and be like, "Well, and all that other stuff. Like I don't just say, "Hey, hello, how are you?" right? Automatically, unless something is wrong. So the fact that he roars every time he speaks, do you think that he's happy or sad or excited? What type of feeling do you think he's feeling based off of the fact that he's roaring like every time? He might be a little angry. He might be a little grumpy. So I'm gonna put that on the side for what he might be like. The lion might be grumpy. And the mouse. Do you think the mouse is the same as him, or do you think he's like, the mouse is like calm? Okay, so the mouse isn't grumpy like that. The mouse is calm. And she ends up being kind in the end, right? So I'll put that too. Helpful. The mouse was also very helpful. Whenever the mouse says, "Let me go and someday I'll repay you," he says, "Don't be silly." Like he thinks it's a joke. So that sort of tells me that he doesn't really believe that the mouse can help him. What do you think? Okay, so if somebody believes that another person can't do something, there's a fancy way to say it, and it's called underestimating somebody. So the lion is underestimating this mouse and what this mouse can do for him. So I can actually put that up there. When you underestimate somebody, it also is a symptom of being proud. The lion was like very proud of himself, and he played down or underestimated what he felt like the mouse could do. So I can put that. So we said that the lion was grumpy, and that he underestimated the mouse, and that he was proud. So because he's gonna be sleeping, right, when this first starts, we're gonna pretend that he wakes up grumpy, and that's gonna be the lion showing grumpiness. So we know what a lion is supposed to look like, right? He's gonna be on all fours, kind of like this, but while he's sleeping, you know, lions lay down, so it's gonna be something like this. And when he wakes up and he's grumpy, he's gonna be like that. You know how you wake up and you don't feel like, you're not feeling it that day? Yeah, the lion's gonna wake up like that. And you're gonna stand like this, and you're gonna be kind of intimidating because you're a little grumpy, and you're gonna be proud. When the mouse says, "Oh, if you don't hurt me, I can, you know, help you one day." You're gonna be like, "What? You can help me?" And that's showing pride. So it's kind of like a, what? You? And the mouse is gonna be kind of scared at first, but when she realizes that the lion is listening to her, she's gonna calm down. So at first she's gonna get picked up, she's gonna be like, "Oh!" Then she's gonna calm down and be like, okay, she's gonna start thinking. This is where we see that she's smart. So she's gonna be thinking, she's gonna be like, "I have an idea. If you don't eat me, you know, I'll help you. And then you know, you never know, I could save you one day." And then when she sees that he's trapped, she's gonna come in and be helpful, right? So she's gonna be like, "Oh, stop, wait, hold on for a second." And then she's gonna work and work and work and chew and chew and chew until she gets that rope unloose, and then she's gonna be like happy that she helped him. So that's showing you being helpful as a little mousey, okay? "How dare you disturb my sleep? I'll eat you." "How could you help me? You're so small." "Fine, I'll let you go." "Thank you." of these days if you let me live. Hold still. You're welcome. Just remember, small friends can be a big help. So, did you figure out the moral of the first story? He says it at the end. What did he say? Small friends can be a... Right. So, that just shows you that you're not supposed to underestimate people, right? Everybody has something they can give. Everybody has something they can do. And even someone who may be younger than you, who may be different from you, can share something with you that would help you. We're all meant to help each other while we go through our life. For instance, you guys always teach me new things. You help me go back and think, how can I be a better teacher? Because you guys say, Miss Grace, I didn't quite get that, or can you explain that, or is there any way that you could do it like this? You guys give me new ideas. You guys help me to see things differently and to understand how to show you things better. So everybody has something to give, even you. Alrighty, so now that you have seen me do it, we're gonna flip the script and it's gonna be your turn to do this work. So let's go ahead and get in our minds what we practiced about the fox and what we practiced about the crow, because those things are gonna help us play these characters. Now, when we read the story, we're gonna be looking for personality traits to see how they probably will hold themselves. And we're also going to remember how their voice sounds in real life and try to combine that with what they're saying in the script, or sorry, the fable, so that we can create our character's voice. Now let's read The Fox and the Crow. Once in a wood long ago, there lived a clever fox. One morning, as Fox stepped out, he saw the crow fly overhead. In her beak, she held a piece of tasty yellow cheese. Fox licked his lips. He had not had breakfast yet, but Crow soon landed in a tree, safely out of reach. Tree or no, said Clever Fox, I'll have that cheese by and by. By and by is a fancy way to say eventually. Like, it may not happen right now, but it's gonna happen soon, eventually. Then he said to Crow, Good morning, friend. My, how well you look today. Crow flapped her wings with pride, and Fox declared, Why, in my life, I've never seen feathers shine the way yours do, and such a handsome bird as you surely has a lovely voice. Will you sing a song for me? So Crow, of course, began to sing. She raised her beak, caw-caw, caw-caw, but as she did, she dropped the cheese. It fell right into the fox's jaws. He ate it up and licked his lips. And then Fox said to Crow, Thank you for my breakfast. I will pay with some advice. Beware of those who flatter and tell lies meant to please. And be glad, you foolish bird, you only lost a cheese. Alrighty, now let's look at this to find their personalities. So, in the very first sentence it says the fox is clever. Definitely can say that. So he's a clever fox. Clever is a fancy way to say what? He's smart, right? And then he starts saying all these compliments, but it's like not true compliments, because he's trying to give compliments to get what? The cheese. So if somebody is not being honest, then that means that they are being, what's that word? What word would I put right there? Dishonest. Over here it says, Crow flapped her wings with pride. So that's something we could put right there. The crow is proud. And he said, Thank you for my breakfast. I will pay some advice. Beware of those who flatter and tell lies meant to please, and be glad, you foolish bird. Foolish. Is that fair to say? Can we say that the crow is foolish? Okay, so that's something else we could put up there. She's foolish. Okay. And one other thing that I wanted to show you guys that you might have missed is that he says right here, he told lies meant to please her. So that means that when he said that her feathers are so beautiful and she has a beautiful voice and stuff like that, do you think he was telling the truth or do you think he was telling a lie? Okay, so if that is the case, then that means, is her voice really beautiful or is it not? Okay, she doesn't really have a beautiful voice, and do you think that her feathers are really, really beautiful or no? Okay, so the reason I wanted to pay attention to that is because when we acted out, this singing part right here, when she says, caw, 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 it shouldn't sound good. How should it sound? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure you're paying attention. Okay. Now, the fox. The fox doesn't do too much. He's just like looking up in the air at this crow, and he sees that the crow has cheese. And so remember, the fox is clever. So this whole time he's going to be thinking up a way. He's going to be looking at that crow, and he's going to think, I want that piece of cheese. I'm gonna get it. And so he's going to start like coming up with a plan, kind of like an evil plan. You know how bad guys in movies, they'll be like, and they'll come up with something. It's kind of like that. So you're going to give that look. You'll be like, I can do something to get this cheese. And then when he gets it, then he'll show his master plan. You know how bad guys in movies, they do this thing of like bragging about how good they were at their plan. They're like, you should have seen that coming. I was doing this and this and this, and I trapped you. And so he's going to be telling that crow that basically when he says, you should beware of people who flatter and people who tell lies to make you feel good, right? So he's going to be doing all that. That's showing cleverness and dishonesty as the fox. Now, of course, you're going to be on all fours, but you're not going to have to do too much moving. It's more about your face. So show it in your face, you being clever and you being dishonest. The crows, this is where we're going to do most of our bird-like movements, okay? So we're going to stand up like this. We're going to put our hands behind our backs so to show that we're being a bird instead of like, all the other four-legged animals. And he's going to be proud. The crow is going to be proud. So when he gets a compliment, he's going to be like, that's right. I am. Yeah. Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's being proud, right? But then he's also going to be foolish because he's going to listen to this fox give him compliments and then say, oh, could you sing something for me? And then they'll be foolish in that. So the best way to play foolishness is to feel overly confident. So whenever she gets the compliment, she's going to be like, thank you. And then he's going to be like, can you sing something for me? And she's going to be like that, okay? The singing is not going to be good, so do your worst, okay? And yeah, that's how you play the crow. Ready to get started? I think I'll have some. I'm gonna get that cheese. Oh, great crow! Yes. What lovely feathers you have. I bet with beautiful feathers like that, you probably have an even more beautiful voice. Yes, it's true. Will you sing for me? Beware ones that flatter and lies meant to please, and be grateful that you only lost a little bit of cheese. Well, would you look at that? We have come to my favorite part of the lesson, which is the time for you to do some work. So, are you ready to find out what your assignment is? Cool. So your assignment is to make a Venn diagram. You know, the little circle there and the little circle there, and in the middle they meet, that's what you're gonna make. You're gonna make a Venn diagram, okay? And one of your circles should be for your first character, which was the fox. And one of the circles should be for your second character, which was the crow. And then in the middle is where you're gonna put stuff that they have in common, okay? So we're comparing and we're contrasting, which is something you should know from ELA, correct? Okay, so you're going to put those things in your circles and you're gonna compare the fox with the crow. And at the end, underneath it, I want you to put the moral of the story. What do you think was the lesson you were supposed to learn from that? And if you were paying attention, it should be pretty easy for you to figure it out, but I'm just gonna see who's gonna get the details right, because details do matter, because details are important, okay? A detail can make the difference between whether you get a 95 or you get a 100, right? And we all want a 100 because that's like the best that it could possibly be, right? Why would you settle for less when you could have all of it? So pay attention for those details, they matter. Alrighty, boys and girls, well, that's the end of my lesson for today. That's all I had to show you. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you had a good time pretending to be all these different animals. And I hope you learned something. I hope you took away like one of the morals of the story, because those things are important as well. Fables are to help us become better people. When you learn a lesson, when you learn a moral, it changes the way you used to do something. So hopefully you get something from that. Hopefully you can take something away and learn a lesson. Maybe, okay? And until then, until next time, I hope you guys have a really great day, and I'll talk to you later. And thanks for playing with me, and bye.